What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Combat Corporation, your source for combat sports. I'm your host, Al the Postmaster Morrow, and today I have a gear review on the Superior Boxing Super Safety Training Gloves. Alright folks, as always, I am incredibly excited to bring you yet another gear review, as today we have the Superior Boxing Super Safety Training Gloves. I'm really excited to start this review out by saying, guys, we hit 6,000 subscribers 1 week ago, which is crazy to me, but now we're already at 6.1 thousand subscribers. So 100 people have joined the channel over the last week, and I really appreciate that. That is just absolutely mind-blowing to me. So thank you all to the newcomers to the channel. I hope you really like the content, and I hope you like my reviews. And of course, as always, this channel wouldn't exist without you, and of course it wouldn't exist without brands that like to, you know, reach out to the channel and put their stuff out there, because then what would we have to review? And in this case, we have Superior Boxing, which you've seen over the last month, I'd say. I've been reviewing a lot of their stuff. Now, I was turned on to Superior Boxing about 3 or 4 years ago when I was a senior in college, which is crazy to think about already. I'm only 25. I don't want to think I'm old yet, but it feels like I'm old when I say that. I graduated college 4 years ago, and basically I saw a bunch of my fellow reviewers, and I was just starting at the time on the whole YouTube thing, but I saw some of my fellow reviewers, as I call them now, Fit the Box and C Squared, say that Superior Boxing was making some of the best gear for the price, which is amazing. And that's always something that I think I try and recommend to my athletes that I train and the athletes that I train with, especially youth or people that are doing the sport for fun, because you want to give them stuff that won't cost them too much, but that will keep them safe and that won't break their bank at the end of the day. And that's Superior Boxing's motive behind it all. My first piece of equipment I bought from Superior Boxing 4 years ago was actually their air mitts. And then, funny enough, about 3 months ago, they reach out to me and say, we'd really like for you to try 2 pairs of our gloves. So disclaimer ahead of time, yes, these were sent to me, but as always, I'm always going to give you 1,000% honest review. And the reason why, guys, is because I know as a professional fighter myself, I am a professional mixed martial artist. I've competed in tons of boxing matches, hundreds of wrestling matches, tons of MMA bouts. I know how important your safety when you train, and of course your financial situation is if we're just doing the sport for fun. Let's be honest, when you started out, it doesn't pay out all that much, especially if you're an amateur. It pays you nothing. So you really got to invest into yourself, and I wouldn't recommend anything to you that I wouldn't recommend for myself and for my athletes in my own gym. But basically, guys, they did send me these, and they also sent me these that you might have seen me review. And basically, Superior Boxing likes to make very high quality gear for a low price compared to a lot of other gear out there. And these are in the same price range as, say, your Ringside Apex, as your Valley Sports Lancers. They're in your same price range as, you know, your Title gloves. Anything by Titles, usually ranging from 60 to 100 bucks nowadays. And Superior Boxing says we can make things that are kind of copied after the brand winning. Like I said, the first thing that I used was their air mitts, which is probably my favorite pair of air mitts that I own. If not, they're up there in my favorites, but I'd say they are probably my favorite air mitt that I own. They're comfortable, they're easy to use, they've lasted me a long time, they're made very high quality, and I love that about them. And they're modeled after the winning CM50 air mitts, which can run you up to 500 bucks. I bought my air mitts from Superior Boxing for, I want to say less, at the time I bought them off eBay for less than 60 bucks, which was crazy. And then if you go on Superior Boxing's website and look at these gloves plus the gloves I just showed, they're 53 pounds sterling, which I think translates to 65 US dollars, plus maybe $10 in shipping. So you're paying about 70 to 75 bucks for a very well-made professional quality glove that won't break your bank and that will last you a very, very long time, which is very good. And that's the cool thing about this Super Safety glove, is that this glove was literally designed for anyone to use. It's not supposed to be like a winning replica or any type of knockoff from another brand. It's supposed to be a really good glove that Superior Boxing made. It works for everyone, not just for professional athletes that are sparring. It can work for guys that are getting into the sport just to get in shape, to hit bags with, or maybe it's for a beginning amateur, or maybe it's for amateurs that want to stay safe. And that's what this glove was designed for. So that's a really cool thing about the Super Safety gloves that I hold in my hand here. I've had a really great time using these gloves. But let's go into my model exactly. As you can see here, I have the yellow and black colorway. They came in 16 ounces as the ones that they sent me. And then on top of it, I also have them only in hook and loop closure. You only get them in hook and loop closure, guys, because they have a dual strap system, which is really nice. And so that kind of takes away the lace-up option because of that system. Although I think it would be cool if they had a lace-up option. You can get them in 3 different sizes, 12, 14, and 16, which is your standard size variation. And then on top of it, you got 4 different colorways. Not only do you have the yellow and black color, you also have red and black, blue and black, and then olive and black, which is a really nice seam foam green type color, which I like. I know my fiance liked it when she was looking at them. That's her favorite color. But I really like the black and yellow because I really don't have that many yellow pairs of gloves. And black and yellow for me, you just don't see a whole lot in some other gloves. I see yellow and like Fairtex, and that's really all I can think about, is because it's like Fairtex yellow for me for whatever reason works. But this is a really nice, cool yellow and black coloration. I love how it works. And once again, you got 3 different sizes you can pick from. Only comes in hook and loop. And then on top of it, you got 4 different colors to pick. Now, when we talk about the look of the glove, and we go into the back of the striking surface, you can see we have that nice, cool yellow color. It's like a sun yellow color, and I love that. It's a very nice sheen to the glove. And then when we come to the back of it, you can see that it is the Superior Boxing logo with a little swoosh going down there. We got the Superior logo is clear and see-through, so you can see through to the yellow part here, but it is in black borders, which is really cool, and it says boxing right there. So it's Superior Boxing logo right on the back, and like I said, that yellow goes all the way down from this wrist cuff all the way up to the tip of the fingers here. And as you can see, it even goes down to the palm here. So the palm has the grip bar, which is also yellow. The interior thumb piping is also yellow. The interior thumb is yellow. And then the stitching is yellow as well. But when the light shines on it, it has a really nice gold sheen to it, and I really love how that looks. The thumb attachment that you can see here is also nice and yellow. And then we go to the thumb, which is a nice pitch black, which is really good, and it fits really well with the yellow coloring that we have here. Then on top of it, we go back to the second part of the palm, which is all black here, until we get to the back of the wrist, which is also black. But we have our Superior Boxing, and it says right here, Choice of Professionals, Superior Boxing, and it is a nice cloth patch that you get on most boxing gloves out there. It has the nice little gold ridges that are going over in white lettering, so it pops out really well. And then on top of it, when you open it, we can see that the interior lining is also black, like most gloves are, and the Velcro, of course, is black, as most gloves are as well. There's not too many gloves out there for me that have any other different color to the Velcro than black, but, you know, there's no complaint there for me. So the glove looks fairly basic, which is good, because as you guys know, if you watch the channel for so long, you know what I say about basic looking gloves are very easy to clean, they're very easy to maintain, and on top of it, the only thing you really got to worry about fading on it is the logo, which the logo is sublimated into the leather, so it's not going to fall out anytime soon. It's not like screen printed or like ironed onto it, so it's not going to peel off, it's not going to fade off, it's going to stay right there unless you really get into the grain of the leather itself. Now, speaking of the build of the glove, let's talk about the outer shell of the leather. It's very nice top grain leather, and it feels super, super nice. Now, I love how this leather feels because it's soft to the touch, and it's also a very thick hide over it. And the one thing a lot of people always ask me, what does the thickness of the hide really do? The thickness of the hide basically means, instead of it being stretched so firm over the padding and keeping it in a constant smush state, it's very, not necessarily loose, but it's just hovering over the material. The thicker the hide is also means that it won't get into the padding quite as easy compared to everything else. And on top of it, the leather also will probably make it last longer depending on how thick that is, because if it's a very thin layer, odds are it can rip easier. The seam seams won't attach to it very good, whereas if it's a nice thick leather, the stitching is going to stay in because it has more material to catch where the needle or the sewing machine was going through to keep everything in one spot. So thicker hide is always good. In Superior Boxing, the whole glove except for the wrist strap, well, the Velcro strap, I should say, right here. The Velcro is obviously Velcro or the hook and loop material. But all of this is all that nice leather. All the way in the back here, the thumb attachment, the thumb itself, everything throughout the entire glove and the palm and the wrist strap itself, except for, like I said, the Velcro and our cloth patch here. And the interior lining is all this really nice cowhide leather. And it's a very durable leather. It smells really nice, and it smells like a really nice car style of leather. Kind of like if you went into a new car, it has that new car smell. It feels like that Napa leather stuff that they use in cars. It feels like a really nice, luxurious leather. And like I said, it's a very thick hide, and right off the bat, the leather is very soft, which I love about it. So it feels broken in right when you get it, which is good. And then once again, the softer leather also makes for softer padding on top of it. So you have a 5 molded layered foam that's going throughout here. And it says on their website 4 with 1 special layer. They mean it's a 5 layered thing, 5 layered foam composition on the back of the glove and on the inside of the glove. But the cool thing is that it might not say on the website is that on the inside of the padding itself, not only is it a latex foam core and everything, but on the inside you actually have a piece of gel layering that's right over your knuckles. So kind of like how Winning does with their different system, everything else is the whole composition is basically right over your knuckles, but on the inside, that one spot through here has that nice gel layer that's protecting your knuckles and sandwiching over your knuckles. So the rest of the padding is being pushed and smushed around this way, while that one part is cushioning the entire part of your knuckle when you're closing your hand on the inside, which is really, really cool. So you have a nice gel layer and that in there on top of some other molded foams and latex foams that are inside here. It has a really nice, soft, supple feel to the leather. It's soft right off the bat. It's not a stiff glove at all. And you have really thick padding. It's about 1.5 to 2 inch thick. So it's definitely for me in that, and because of how rounded the glove is, you see how it's rounded like this, it's not flat. It's going to keep distance between your knuckle and the striking surface. So when I go to hit things, I definitely put it in that defensive category because of the size of the glove compared to some other gloves and because of that rounded tip on top of it, which is very good. But the leather and the foam composition in the knuckles makes for a very protective hand compartment, which is really good. So when you punch, not only are you getting a nice feedback because of that latex foam, but you're also getting cradle because of that gel foam, and there's enough of multi-layered padding on the inside made out of those molded foams that are really going to keep your hand nice and protected. So as far as that goes, super safety. We got the safety part as far as the knuckle padding goes. Then we go to the thumb, which is a very nice curved thumb. It's a decent thickness of a thumb. It doesn't feel too much like your standard Japanese thumb in that it's curved to a certain angle. It feels like your standard boxing glove thumb that kind of just stays in a perfect spot. It's not too stiff to the thumb to where I can't open and close my hand to parry and catch punches or even get grips as far as Muay Thai grips goes. But the thumb is very good, and it's nice, and it has a really nice form-fitting fist to where it comes to here like that. So I love how the thumb goes, and that thumb attachment does not keep it too tight either, but it keeps it just enough so where you're not going to smash your thumb and you're not going to thumb anyone in the eye as well. When we come down to the back of the wrist, you can see that we have like that turtle splint system that a lot of gloves will have. Basically, the idea is you have the split here. So when you fold it, it goes like that. One side comes to this part of your wrist, one side comes to this part, while the other is on top of it, and that keeps your wrist stabilized from going back, side to side, and down in an uncomfortable motion. So we're constantly doing this, think about it every day. We don't want to do it so much when we're punching because we don't want our hand to go down, up, side to side, and that's what that turtle splint does. And you can see that it's stitched separate from the top of the glove here. So it is a 2-part glove. Same thing for a Japanese style thumb in that it is separate a little bit, but it does not have, it's a bit of a fatter thumb compared to like your Winning style thumb. And then on top of it, like I said, we have that nice dual strap system that we have going on here, which I'll address in 1 second. Once we come to the face of the glove here, when we turn this open, the grip bar is made of a very nice soft foam up here. It has a really nice, good feel when you're gripping down on this. And on top of it, you have a nice, feels like that insulation style foam that you feel in like wall pads and stuff. All throughout the palm and all throughout the wrist. As you can see here, you can see kind of how it's puffy compared to some other gloves out there. And it feels really comfortable. It's nice and soft. It's very good safety if you're doing like mitt style drills with your partners. You know, maybe we're doing 1-2s back and forth, and I'm not going to feel as much impact. So it's good on my wrist, good on my palm, so I'm not damaging that either, which feels really good. Now, like I said, we also have our dual wrist grasp system that I love here. The only thing that I didn't like about it, guys, is that when you take this and you pull it over, it kind of flaps. So if you want it really tight, you can't even really do that because it kind of falls right off. So you kind of have to kind of strap it like that, then strap this one really tight, and that feels good. But it's still nice and tight on my wrist. It's not going anywhere. It's not coming off. For sure, it's not coming off. My hand's not moving at all, which is really good. So, I mean, you really strap it tight with this one is what you're going to get it tight with. Whereas here, you'd have to pull it and then maybe tape it or something. But I don't like how it flaps off like that. But overall, I mean, that doesn't damage the wrist strap at all. The nice thing too, when I put it on, that you notice is that we also have this gel type of bracket right here at the bottom with a very long wrist cuff as well that stabilizes my wrist and the back of my forearm, which feels really good. So I love how that feels on the back of my arm, and it's very comfortable. And on top of it, we also have our standard elastic strap on the inside here, as you can see right there, that will keep the glove nice and closed. The interior lining is a very soft, foamy lining, and I love that about it. It's a poly cotton blend, and it feels like, I always tell you guys, it feels like that dry fit pillow material, and it feels so nice on my hand. And on top of it, there's tons of room on the inside of the glove to where I can open and close very easily. I get good grips on the back of my neck, on the back of my arms, if you're into Muay Thai kickboxing. And on top of it, I can put a lot of wraps on the inside of this glove. Though the glove, because of the padding composition and the wrist support, I say put a thin layer of wraps over, just, you know, to keep the inside of the glove fresh and to keep your hand just a little bit extra protected. But they call this a super safety for a good reason. The knuckle padding and the wrist support is absolutely unrivaled compared to a lot of other gloves out there. They do a phenomenal job. The other thing about the wrist strap system you'll notice is that it's rubber here. So going to grab it with the other gloves sometimes can be difficult, but with that rubber tip here, it's very easy to grab it, pull it, and go. Like I said, it just shouldn't overlap too much like this. I think that's going to get in the way, but if you don't do it too much, it'll still come here pretty good. I know some people that they like it so tight that it, you know, their circulation's cutting off for whatever reason. But, you know, let's go into the bag work and the model view so you can see these gloves in action. Superior Boxing calls these the super safeties, and for good reason, because between the wrist support and the knuckle padding, I think just about anyone could use these on the bags, from beginners to professionals. I wouldn't worry about their wrist creasing or their knuckles hurting at all. It cradles my hand so well. I form such a natural fist on this, and they're very flexible, so I can get very good grips with these gloves. They're also nice and rounded to give you a little bit more padding between the target and your knuckles as well. They're very light at the same time, and so you're able to let your punches go. And the cool part is they are a pillow glove, but you get a decent puncher's feedback as well. All right, so notice the Superior Boxing logo and the nice black and yellow, which is always a really nice colorway. I know a lot of my teammates have been asking me questions about how these gloves look, and they look sharp. They don't look like they're out of this world. They don't look overly basic. They are right in the middle. They are a really sharp-looking pair of gloves. Superior did a great job. All right, folks, so my final verdict on the Superior Boxing Super Safety Training Gloves is much like the regular winning style glove that they have. It is a really, really good buy, almost a steal for the amount of money that they sell it for. For about 65 to 70 bucks you can get these gloves for. I recommend them over a lot of my favorite beginner gloves over the past, simply because Superior Boxing has made these very easy to get, not only financially, but they perform well. And like the name of the glove says, super safety. And I'm going to tell you why they're super safe. The knuckle padding, right? If we start with that, the knuckle padding is absolutely phenomenal because of how rounded it is. I recommend these to a lot of people that have not learned how to punch yet, because even if you make really basic rudimentary mistakes on the bag. This glove will have you covered in that when you punch the bag, the padding keeps your knuckles so separated. As you can see, we got really thick and rounded padding, keeping your knuckles away from the primary target itself. Plus, if you wrap your hands, I don't see you getting injured in these gloves as far as the knuckle department go, and especially the wrist department too, because we got our double wrist strap, and on top of it, we have that nice turtle bracketing system with a nice bracket at the bottom here of that nice gel style of foam feel. It's like that EVA gel feel. It's a nice foam feel at the bottom that really cradles your wrist and your knuckles at the same time. The thumb position is absolutely comfortable, and the interior lining is soft and plush. So I think people that aren't used to using different types of boxing gloves that have like that denim feel to it, or that very rough material on the inside, or it's not satin basically, will really like the comfortability about this glove. And it's also really nice on the inside as far as not just comfortability, but being able to wrap your hands with a decent amount of padding, which is really good. I put big wraps on inside of this and it fits pretty well, but I don't think it's as necessary in gloves like these because of how rounded that padding is. But if you have knuckle and wrist issues, I definitely think this glove would be good to look into, not just because of the price, but because of what it does and how good it is. And there's a lot of other gloves out there that will charge you a lot more that don't do quite as good as a job. The next nearest price raise that I can think of that does as good of a job as these would be Top Boxer, and most of Top Boxer's models are near double this at $120. Although Top Boxer is a great brand, I think this brand does a really good job for even less money. It's less inexpensive, which is or more inexpensive, which is great. If I had to give a complaint about the glove, which there aren't too many, is I'd say that, like I said, when I go and really want to get this tight, we see how much this overhangs like this, and now I have to come here and you know, fold it like that, which it stays now because it's a double-sided strap. But I'd still rather not have that because that rubber is going to get in the way and it's not going to be able to Velcro nice and tight, because I'd have to fold it over like this and then do that basically, you know, which works. But now this isn't catching any Velcro because now it's catching the strap, the elastic itself. So now this is coming up. So that's my one complaint about the glove, is that maybe make this whole thing Velcro so that way this would go around. Make the entire circular part of the wrist Velcro, even at this part of the wrist strap here at the bottom. That way you can strap it like that is the idea. Okay, so that's my big thing, guys, is just the wrist support is phenomenal, but I would fix the double wrist strap, and that's really the one complaint I have about the glove. Other than that, it's incredibly easy to clean, guys, and you know how much I really harp on people to clean your gear. It's so important. It keeps it lasting long. It's very, very nice, soft, supple leather that is actually a really good hide. Has a really nice scent to it. It's a really good leather for an inexpensive glove such as this. So I tell people, keep your glove clean, treat the leather every now and again, and definitely keep the inside of the glove dry. The glove, I will say, does absorb moisture a little bit more than other gloves, but it also dries out very quickly, which is good. Just don't keep it in your bag overnight is what I'd say. So overall, if I had to give like a rating out of 10 for performance, safety, and pricing, I'm giving it a solid 9 out of 10. And it's not 10 out of 10 like the other one, simply because I do think it was a very avoidable mistake that they could have done to really stop this whole flap part from happening. And I know some people are like, well, why do gloves have to be that tight? Trust me, I have had some guys where I train with them and they have to have things so tight that it's cutting off circulation to their hand. I don't know why they like doing that, but some people do. I personally like things that are firm but still have a little room to move. But that's basically the idea behind it, guys, is I think knuckle padding. You're not going to find a whole lot of other gloves for this price range. You know, with shipping and everything, like I said, the most you're going to pay is about 70 to 80 bucks at the end of the day, which is perfect. But, you know, just like as far as gross, what winds out like gross pay, it's 65 bucks. I think it's 53 pounds sterling, which is 65 bucks in America, plus the shipping's probably 10, 15 bucks because it's coming from another part of the world. I think it's coming from the UK, actually. I could be wrong. But you have that. You can also buy these off of a couple other things. I think they have them on eBay as well. They also have them on their website. And then on top of it, you can get them. I've seen them on MSM Fight Shop, which is based in Florida. So they can actually send it to you from Florida too if you're in the United States, which, you know, I like supporting small businesses as well. But I've seen these gloves on MSM Fight Shop. I've also seen the Muay Thai gloves that Superior Boxing sells, which I have to try out eventually. You know, because I'm really impressed with what Superior Boxing does. But like I said, what makes this a 9 out of 10 for me is just that little manufacturing mistake. In my opinion, I think it was a mistake. I don't know if it's my model, but I think other models might have done that. Other than that, I think it's a really good, genius design that most people would really like to use. And I think you'd really like it as well. But overall, like I said, 9 out of 10, very good for your money, very good for protecting your wrist, your knuckles, very great for pad work, bag work, sparring too on top of it. These gloves are an all-around great sparring glove. And I tell you what, about these, I'd love for all of my amateur boxers that I train to have these. I think if every single one of my amateur boxers had these, they'd love them. I wish they came in a lace-up version too. I think that would be really helpful. I know the regular gloves come in lace-up version, but I think this composition of glove in lace-up would appeal to even more boxers in general. But I think this was more to appeal to, in my opinion, MMA guys, because we're simple people. We like to just take things on and off without strapping them up and lacing them as much as I came from boxing first. I always had lace-ups, and I still use lace-ups. But Velcro is just a bit more convenient. And, of course, when convenience comes to guys that just, you know, you see them at your local gym, they want to punch a bag and get a good workout in, these are the perfect glove for that, in my opinion. But they're also great for overall training. I love sparring in these. I love pad work in these. But overall, they do a really good job. So guys, if you have any questions, as always, please comment below, because I want to know what you want me to review next. And if you have any questions about these gloves, like I said, comment section, ask me away. And then, of course, comment on all my social media pages. I have my links in the description below. I post on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok just about every day. Twitter, I'm just not very good at. I'm sorry, but I'm getting there. And then overall, I really appreciate all of you watching. We're at 6,100 subscribers already. We already got 100 subscribers since just last week when we hit 6,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane to me, everybody. I really appreciate you doing that. And overall, I'm a very lucky guy to keep this channel running. So I really appreciate you all. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell for future videos. Let me know what you want me to review next. And as always, I'll see you on the next episode. All right, folks, I'll see you on the next episode.